thinking that we have to be in these perfect modes, and if we're not good enough or we're not healed, then we can't be in relationships, or if we're not healed, we can't bring these things, or we're not deserving of these things in our life. And that is actually not true. So one of the things that I found about this that was a little bit toxic for me was all day, every day, watching videos about self-development, listening to podcasts, and not feeling like I'm good enough to just have fun. So I would constantly get into this rut where if certain limitations in my mind around like money wasn't healed or wasn't still coming up in my subconscious, I had to be like, oh, I'm not deserving of spending this money because I still need to work on an abundant mindset. Or I would spend it and I would then beat myself up and then go into this whole story of things that didn't even come from me. And I constantly felt like every day I have to journal stuff out, I have to heal things. And while that's good, it takes the fun out of life. You get way too serious about yourself and you don't allow yourself to just experience life and be a human. And this sometimes can come from like our childhood training. Y'all know I've shared on this channel before that for me personally, I felt like in certain spaces I wasn't good enough. Whether it was school, I felt like I had to have my grades a certain way. Whether it was when I was in college, from my childhood upbringing in college, I stressed myself out so fucking much about letters pretty much to get to some certain mark so I could be good enough. And my validation became the material things that was outside of me. And so when I started to go on this journey of like self-discovery, I started to think that I'm not good enough because my, limitations are still limited in certain areas, or I don't know how to open up or express my emotions as deeply as somebody else, so I need to go back to therapy, or I need to watch more videos. And we get into this space where while it's a privilege to be able to be aware of yourself and to heal these things about yourself, it is also not an assignment, from the universe. It's not something that we're not deserving of this because we haven't healed this. We're living in a human experience and we should be humans. I think the reason how it fucks us up is we feel like we can't ever do anything right. And it kind of goes back into, for those who've been in Christianity or religion, that whole point of you have to be this certain way in order to be justified, right? You can't sin or else you won't be worthy enough to like go to heaven, right? And so we do the same thing in spirituality where we are like, if this isn't in alignment with us, we're doing something wrong, right? If this is not in the high vibrational energy, we're doing something wrong. I so much got into that high vibrational shit because I felt like somewhere in my subconscious, I guess that was just what I knew, and that's what we're all taught. We're kind of introduced to the low vibrational, high vibrational, and then we kind of pick which one is which, especially based off of your friends and based off of like where you are in life. I had a friend that they like drank and smoke, and I don't have a problem with that because I do the same thing, but I felt that theirs was too extreme. They was doing too much. And so at one point I just could not hang out with them because they did certain things a little bit more than I did. And it's just like, just because I don't do that stuff all the time or every day or whatever, it doesn't mean that I'm any better or that they're low vibrational because I don't do certain things. And so I say all this to say, don't limit yourself because of something that you have outgrown. We're all on like different spiritual journeys or something that maybe you just don't do as often. Another thing is that when we get into this spiritual world or this self-development, we start thinking that friends are wrong, or because they don't believe in certain maybe conspiracy theories, right? Or the truth about the awakening in the world and all of these different signs and synchronicities and angel numbers and all of this stuff. If you are telling people these things and they don't align with you or resonate with you, that doesn't mean that they're wrong. That doesn't mean that they're bad people. It doesn't mean that they're like fucked up or something's wrong with them. It just means that they may have not been on that path to where they don't understand that yet, or they simply just don't know. And it's not your job to be preaching to people and telling everybody what it is that you're learning and what it is that they can do to help themselves. If they want to learn, the universe will open it up for them in their own time. And that's something that was huge for me because I would be so busy sending people YouTube videos videos, sending my friends, sending it to my family, having conversations with certain people. Just this whole like the matrix and all of these different things. And we get so caught up in these words that we don't realize that we're supposed to be having fun and enjoying ourselves. So this brought me to a point now of like, I feel like I've just matured as a person because I don't live my life sharing things with everybody. I'm actually much more private these days. And I don't like to tell everybody my business. I don't like talking a lot as much as I used to. And this has really freed me up from feeling like I had to give a lecture every time I was around folks. I've told certain people in my life, like, just stop sending me certain things because I don't want to listen to that stuff anymore. Of course, self-development and podcasts and all of that is really good. Listening to YouTube videos, reading books, it's all great. But sometimes it's good to keep that shit to yourself, Keep it to yourself. Keep it to you, because at the end of the day, this is your journey. This is your path. This is not anybody else's path but yours. So as long as you are doing what you need to do and what you want to do, which is developing yourself, then you can do that. But feeling like people are beneath you, people are lower than you, people don't have the same type of charisma or oomph as you because you have become more aware. You got to remember that your ancestors, your angels, your guides, the universe in general, and just you as a person, you have been put on this planet and you are elevating at a different level than others. That does not mean that you're better, or it does not mean that you got to share everything with everybody. And it doesn't mean that you have to stop spending your time with people that you really enjoy spending your time around. It just means that you might need to be a little bit quieter. You might need to just understand that you are at a different level of consciousness for yourself, because that's what your soul came here to do. So this is just a reminder, just a quick video just to tell you, like, don't shame yourself because you feel like you have to be at a certain space, and don't shame others. Don't stop hanging out with people that you truly enjoy because they're not on the path. Now, this doesn't mean at the same time that you can't just, break your boundaries and just start hanging out with, whoever just because. You can still set your boundaries, but I have people in my life that some people I haven't talked to in a long time, like years. And I'm like, oh man, I miss them. And I allow myself to express that and to initiate, like, let's hang out, let's be cool, let's da-da-da. Because at the end of the day, energy is energy. And when I like a person's energy, we can still kick it. We can still be cool. So don't let, even if you are just on self-development, maybe you are no longer drinking, or you're not on eating certain food. Maybe you're a pescatarian, or you're a vegan, or something like that. And maybe the people around you aren't eating clean, or aren't working out at the gym, or, haven't changed their habits or whatever. That doesn't mean that you stop hanging out with them, or that doesn't mean that you just continue to feel like you have to be this higher vibrational or this super self-developed help person. Some people just are not there. Some people just don't want to be there, and some people it's just not their path. And so you might feel alone because you're like, why isn't everybody picking it up like I am? I know when I first started making videos and I first started having these awakenings, I got so excited I wanted to share it with everybody, and not realizing everyone is not ready for that. And it's not your job, no matter how developed you are, to go speaking it out to everyone. And the reason why I think that this will fuck you up if you do is because you are making it almost sometimes like toxic positivity, or you're making it to where people can't relate to you, and you become this person who talks in words. Like, I love my girl Abraham Hicks, okay? I really love her, but I listened to her too much at one point, where I was going around people talking about the vortex, okay? And people was looking at me like, what the fuck is he talking about, okay? You know what I mean, right? And so these are just small things that if you don't realize that you can have your journey, but you don't have to speak a certain way. You don't gotta like change everything. Like, one thing I did too is I was buying a bunch of crystals, I was always, carrying my journal. I was always telling people to, write down their thoughts and sit with their emotions and all these things that I can do now. Everybody else cannot do that. So sometimes you just have to be quiet when you're hanging out with people. Sometimes you just gotta stop preaching everything to everyone. Stop sending books to everybody. Stop doing all of that. This is just stuff that I did in the past. And as I've grown over the years and what I've learned, everybody doesn't care about growing your purpose. Everyone is not ready to come to my channel and listen to content like this. And I accept that. And it's just one of those things that people got to figure it out and find out on their own. But if you continue to keep, putting out all this stuff and trying to share all this information with people, folks don't care. They got their own shit going on. And then you got to remember that we are having this conversation right now because we are privileged enough and blessed enough to not just be able to have the time to journal and take care of ourselves in those emotional ways, but we had the blessings and the privilege that the universe placed on us to be able to step into this world. There's not a lot of people who can step into this time, into this path, and understand what's going on. I mean, I've talked to even people who are Christians. I had an old teacher that I met, and she was a Christian. When I was in high school, I met her this past week, and she told me, that all the shifts that she was feeling, and it was very similar to somebody who is not religious like myself and who goes through a spiritual, experience. But we're all having spiritual experiences, but she just has a more, religious or Bible, experience than me. And that doesn't make any of us different. It's just the fact that she's experiencing something different than I am. And see, beforehand, I wouldn't even want to talk to people like that. I wouldn't even want to have conversations and anything. But as you grow, you learn that it's all the same stuff. But you don't have to feel like because you are awakening, which I hate that word too, you're just you. You have just evolved in a way that works for you. That does not mean that it works for somebody else. And it's the same thing with rituals. You're trying to tell folks how to do these certain ritual magics and get this sage and get this stuff. Some people is not into that. I know for myself, I don't have no African ancestor altar. I just say my ancestors, and I have things that I love to work with, but I don't put that on or push that on to other people. I tried the whole building different altars and stuff. It didn't work for me. So I got things like this, like affirmational cards and stuff like that works for me. I have another set of like African goddess cards that work for me. It's just the whole point of like, you have to get out of thinking that you need to be helping everybody. You need to be trying to work so hard on yourself so that you can get these blessings. You're gonna get them anyway, boo-boo. You're gonna get the blessings anyway. They're going to happen naturally for you. So do not think that just because you are not where you are right now or where you want to be, that it's not going to happen, because it is. It's going to happen. You just need to be patient with yourself, and you need to go and live. Go and have fun. Go and something exciting for yourself. Be a human. It is not about always trying to manipulate things to be in this high vibrational energy or only wanting things that's for the highest good of you. It's like at the end of the day, even when it's bad shit, it's for the highest good of you. Even if you don't believe that, it is. So focus right now and focus moving forward in your life after you watch this video to, number one, be kind to yourself and believe that you deserve it, even when you feel as in your human or ego or whatever that you don't listen to that voice. You are deserving of everything that you desire. And then the second thing is, don't go around here trying to get everybody on the same unity path that you're on, because not everyone is ready for the heat. It's not meant for everybody. Some people have simply come to this planet here to do what everybody else is doing and die and move on. Like, that's literally it. It's not meant for you to be, or for them or anybody to be telling them, whoever them is, telling other folks what to do. It's not your deal. It's not your problem. It's gonna save you a lot of stress. Trust me, I tried to go down the road of trying to heal people in my family and my friends and, all of that, and it just stressed me out and it didn't work. So you need to live a life of being happy for yourself, and you need to live a life where you are knowing that you are deserving and not being hard on yourself with all of this other self-development and spiritual type of stuff, okay? You are good enough as you are, okay?